Hi everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, checking in with a weekly garden tour. Well, it's been really warm and we have a serious change in the weather. The forecast, we have at least 3 nights below 32 coming up, so I am kind of getting ready for the ultimate Band-Aid pull off when nature takes its course and all the summer stuff gets frosted back. Definitely makes doing the garden transition a little bit easier. I don't love ripping out summer until it looks ugly, I guess is my rule of thumb. And I have a fair amount to still tackle, though I've made a lot of progress in the last 2 weeks. Of course, have a whole bunch of tomatoes still to harvest. These are all growing from the tower garden, which was planted like back in, I think, mid-June. I've gotten most of the succulents and tender plants staged, and I have started filling the heated shed, as you can see behind me. But let me take you on a stroll around my Zone 7 Central North Carolina garden as we literally count down the hours to the real season change when frost finally hits, the middle of November. I think it's important to note that we are officially in Reginald weather. He loves it being cooler. He's no longer panting in the heat of the sun. He is just having fun being a little kitten. I have a bunch of tenders things here. I'm actually planning to unpot this succulent container and fill that with hardy plants so I don't have to haul that heavy pot in and out. Got my lime tree over here. I've harvested all of the limes. Well, I still see a few. Here's one. I went ahead and juiced them, and now I have limoncello, which is basically lime rinds and vodka in my refrigerator. Hopefully that will turn out well. One last Hedychium cornarium in bloom, and it smells so delightful. It's just the best fragrance of all time. And what a joy to have this blooming right now. You can see the succulent table that I potted last week is doing really well. I added this blue glass, which was left over from the fireplace next door. And I think that really finishes it off in a great way. And I'll be ready to start harvesting lettuce from here, having some delicious salads. I'm gonna do a separate foodscaping winter interest containers video, but give you a view of one that I did a few weeks ago that's growing really well. And again, time to get started on harvesting. We'll have some delicious kale to add to our dinners tonight. And just in time for frost, we have a whole bunch of Bergmansia blooms. I'll definitely come out and enjoy these tonight. And it's possible that we aren't actually going to have a killing frost until like the end of the week. So we'll see. We'll just see how it goes. It's definitely time. I was just saying yesterday in the seed class how, all right, I'm kind of getting ready. I want the ground to get a little cooler so it'll be better for seeding poppies and things. Of course, I'll have lots more peppers still to harvest. You know, I feel like I've plucked these plants clean several times, but we've had this like extra month since the first frost threat. Certainly have enjoyed the pineapple sage. You can see the pool bed here that Abby and I did really quite early. This was, I think we did this in like early October. It's really filled in nicely. I'm planning to put in some violas, have them stashed right over here, but I really won't need very many. I'm gonna use these to do a big display in these 2 beds that are surrounding the back patio once I get those all cleared out from the summer stuff. It's just, I think I need to go ahead and harvest one more round of fresh basil. Hold on to summer as long as possible. Well, the big accomplishment of the week was clearing my work zone and making it back into a parking spot. I was originally gonna stash some of the plants for the big next door install over here, but David heard me say parking spot and he was like, yeah, let's do that. And it's great. We have kind of a lot more space in our driveway now, which is definitely makes it parking a lot easier. Behind here, we've got October Magic Bride, which is a really, really wonderful fall blooming camellia from the Southern Living Plants collection. This is bred by a good friend of mine, Bobby Green, and it's just such a beautiful, compact, beautiful white bloom. And I love how the petals fall and scatter on the ground like self-mulching. I've been harvesting lots of zinnias for flower arrangements and harvesting a lot of seed. So I definitely want to grow Queenie Lime Orange again. This is such a magnificent flower. And basically seed collection, you're just looking for these sort of dried old blooms, and well, in theory the seeds are in here. That's a seed right there, if I can get it to focus, right there. So that's what you're looking for when you're collecting zinnia seeds. Just gonna toss that in there. Hopefully they'll self-sow. Yesterday, the seed class was so much fun. Oh my gosh. I'm super excited about doing it again this coming Saturday, November 19th from 2 to 4 p.m. Though we went over, it was like 5:15 when we actually finished. So if you want to come out, maybe plan for 3 hours instead of 2. But we used this space here that I cleared a few days ago, and we did our direct seeding in here so everybody got to understand how to just layer the compost. And we did 2 big clumps of wheat, and we sowed cilantro and poppies, and I can't remember what else, but I know it's gonna look great. I have this sorghum to go ahead and harvest. I just wanna harvest the seed heads so I can use these for Thanksgiving decorations. I think they're so pretty. Well, you can see a ton of self-sown larkspur. And, you know, I was explaining to the seed class, you see, when they get like this is nature taking its course, right? These are things germinating without me being involved at all. But when they get like this, when we get cold, this will actually die back and it may not even flower. So this is a big part of why I'm always telling people, like, don't rush the season for getting this seed sown. It's better to get it sown. Now I'm going to amend and say in December when the soil is cooler, because then the plants won't be at an advanced stage where they will be more susceptible to frost. So I know it can be really hard. I'm going to constantly be posting videos about why and when. I'm just bringing it up now to reiterate that though all of this has self-sown, I can count on at least half of this not even coming to fruition, because they'll be too advanced by the time we start getting real temperature fluctuations. We were having a discussion yesterday about trying to overwinter lemongrass, and this is not really traditionally hardy here. I'm probably, I don't know, I have a policy. If it's ugly, get rid of it. So we'll see how the lemongrass fares after cold temperatures hit. I have a feeling low 30s aren't really going to be that damaging to it, but you know, we consistently here in the Raleigh, North Carolina area get much colder than that during the real winter. So we'll just see. That pepper right there provided endless entertainment to the students that were visiting on Wednesday. I kept telling them, like, it's not pleasant to eat, but you know, they're like 8th grade boys, so they have stomachs of steel. Of course, I have a million things self-sowing in the pathway. When in doubt, put down grit, and you'll be able to successfully grow poppies, whether you want to or not. These, of course, right here are poppies. Right here are poppies. Lots of weeds mixed in. This is a Veronica that some people think is okay. I don't. A lot of weeds through here. This stuff is also not really something that is desirable, and its name is escaping me right now. I don't spend a ton of time weeding the pathways, but I just wanted to show you that there are poppies. There are poppies, self-sown poppies that are really advanced, and these have a great microclimate because of their bottle adjacency, but it's still possible that as we have temperature fluctuations, these won't actually make it because they're already too far along. And we actually tried the citrus, and it's really not that bad. And I'm contemplating maybe trying to make I'm definitely going to do something with the rind of it. I might juice it and see exactly how much sugar is needed to make it palatable. The students earlier this week were just absolutely intrigued by this hardy citrus, which I believe is something like a grapefruit lemon hybrid. And I just wanted to show you this pretty Salvia coccinea. This is a self-sown plant. I always like to let it go to seed. Here are the old seed heads. Just kind of scatter those around. Can't beat it for its ease of growing, and just kind of fills in little open spaces, and it's so, so pretty. So as we make our way here, all the pots that I planted a week ago are doing great, and in fact all the greens have germinated. I'm going to do a separate video on just the pots, but I wanted to give you a preview of what it looks like 1 week after being planted. I planted these, I direct seeded these grains and planted these pots 1 week ago today. And I have a nice open space here that next Saturday's class is going to sow with a mix of different salad greens, including more arugula, which is self-sown, that whole back half there. But also we're going to do spinach and kale and lettuce mixed with arugula and mustard, because the arugula and mustard help prevent the animals from eating it. And so this is a great strategy to be able to grow something that you love to eat, that's easy to harvest, that the animals will leave alone. And as we make our way through here, you see I have a ton of garlic that I missed last year that I need to go ahead and pull out and divide. And as I make more progress in the garden this week, I'll definitely be doing that. I'm also so impressed with the California poppies. These were, of course, sown last December, and you can see I still have some really happy, healthy looking clumps in here. Coming up along the north side, I have one perfect October affair camellia to show you. This is a Camellia japonica that usually starts blooming in the autumn and then will continuously flower all the way until like March and April. And you see tons of flower buds on it, but that is what the flower looks like. A great formal double. I love these incurved petals and their stacking pattern. It's definitely one of my favorites, introduced by Dr. Parks from Camellia Forest Nursery. Well, the big progress of the week is we got the wave completely cleared out and replanted. And, the students were super intrigued with this sort of shady section that's established with all carrots. And they got this sowed with a mix of oats and rye. It's a combo I've never done before. I'm really excited about it. And we noticed that the grains are already germinating. That's a big fire ant mound I have to deal with. We noticed yesterday, so we had like 2 inches of rain from Hurricane Nicole. And let's see, here we go. It's a good spot to see. You can see see how they're diving in, and sprouts will soon be coming out. So that is just a few days, Wednesday to Sunday, for germination. Yesterday in the seed class, we added the cottage garden seed mix that I've been selling, which is a combination of cilantro, daikon radish, bachelor buttons, and larkspur. And then we also did a top seeding of Papaver somniferum, the really tall, beautiful breadseed poppies. And the students also added garlic along the edges. I see one garlic is shoved out of the ground. And that is, of course, to help with the animals. I also got the big bed cleared out, and I was amazed to see how much has self-sown in here. I was originally planning to use this bed for our seed classes, but as you can see, it already has a great mix of stuff growing, including bachelor buttons right here, poppies right here, larkspur. So I've decided just to give this a little time, and then beginning of December, I'll fill in any gaps. I also have some violas to go in here right along the edge. Last year, I planted several hundred daffodils along this strip about 2 foot in. And so I don't really need to add any more bulbs there. I did get my Brent and Becky's bulb order in, and these are, I haven't even opened it. These came in yesterday during the class. If you're not familiar with Brent and Becky's, should definitely check them out. They are awesome. And I will make a video all about these. These are destined to go into the new garden next door. I have to brag on the green side of the wall. Look at how much it's grown. It's only been planted like a week and a half. It is so awesome. I just think grains are the coolest thing. So I did mark each variety. So this is wheat. I actually didn't have all the different species because some of them were in a refrigerator next door, and we had a person, Airbnb person, staying there. So I did barley here. This is oats, and then wheat. This wheat is red winter wheat, and this is USG wheat. And then up here is a mix of all of them together. So you can see at this stage, they all just look like grass. That's because grains are grass. They're in the Poaceae family. And this will look basically like green grass for the remainder of the winter. Fantastic winter interest, I think. Coming up with a great plan for the big new garden install. I think we will start the first week of December. I have a person that is doing her graduate work at NC State that wants to be a part of it. So I have to show you guys this bed. It is full glory. I can't believe that this was planted just, you know, in the middle of August. So it hasn't even been growing very long, but you can see how beautiful everything is right now. The salvias are so extraordinary. This purple and white is Salvia leucantha, and that against the white cloud muley grass is so beautiful. And the agastache over there is really spot on awesome. And I'm just so pleased with all of it. And you can see the garlic that I planted a few weeks ago is really coming in. You can see it growing right along the edge. And that just demonstrates how much garlic you can grow in a really small space. You don't have to have a massive garden. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's garden tour and will be inspired to get out into your garden and, well, do some seasonal change outs as we prepare finally for our first hard frost. And I hope you'll consider making some beautiful floating flower arrangements so that you and your family can enjoy the splendors of your garden in a super unique way. I look forward to sharing another update with all of you next week, right here from my Zone 7 garden in central North Carolina. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.